Hello, I'm Rebecca of Pocketful of Posies. Today's video is a long time coming. I've wanted to make this blouse shirtwaist since, well, for a long time, and I got it cut out over Thanksgiving. When I say I mean my mom cut it out over Thanksgiving because at that time I could not do anything, so with all of my back issues. But now that I am mostly recovered from my surgery in January, I was ready to get going on this. So while I was recovering, I got to work on this blouse that has just been sitting at my mom's house since November. So I'm excited to share it with you. I used Black Snail Pattern for this, and without further ado, let's get to it. Here we go. Okay, so I have all of my pieces cut out, and I've already basted the darts in. I didn't film that because, well, I did it while I've been recovering and I was just sitting on the couch and whatever. But then I realized just now as I was about to get started that I really need to iron all of my pieces again. So that is the next step. All right, so the next, was that, the cuff and the collar all say very plainly, cut 2 on fold of fabric. Did I? I did not. I did this so long ago, I don't remember. I mean, yeah. I don't think I have enough fabric left because I actually used the scraps from cutting this out for the purse that I made in my previous video. So, I might need to figure that out. I might need to do like just a white fabric for like the inside of the collar and the inside of the cuff. So I'm going to take a look at that and see. I'm also filming all of this on my phone because I'm at my parents' house still. The boys are here with me though. The Thor and Loki boys are here with me because Chris needed to get some stuff kind of rearranged at the house so that I can go home without tripping over stuff. And yeah, and we also thought it would probably be a good idea for the boys to be here with me at my parents' house so we could, you know, just test my sea legs, if you will. Make sure that they're not going to knock me over every time they come near me. Will you knock me over, boys? Are you going to knock me over? They haven't yet, but that's not to say I haven't tried. But I am feeling so much better, and I'm actually going back to work soon. And so I think all is well. I think I can handle myself, and I'm not going to fall over all the time or get knocked down. I'm feeling pretty steady on my legs now. So excellent. So now I have to figure out what to do about this collar and the cuffs. And since I'm at my parents', I don't have all of my fabric. I'm going to see if my mom has any white fabric that I can use. And I'm going to check this bag that my stuff was in and see if there's enough scrap left for another collar and cuff on the fold. I don't know what I was thinking. This video is sponsored by Black Snail Patterns. If you would like 15% off all digital patterns, you can follow the link below, or use the code POCKETFULLOFPOSIES. Thanks again to Black Snail Patterns for their sponsorship. My original idea for this blouse was based on a costume that Judy Garland wears in The Harvey Girls, which is one of my favorite movies. It's got some really fun songs, but also really amazing costumes. And I've always loved the costumes in that movie. And this one in particular has always been a favorite of mine. So I wanted to make a blouse that was inspired by that. I knew I couldn't make it exactly like the blouse in the movie without more time and more different fabric than I had on hand already. I think this blouse will work well for history bounding applications as well. I'm actually planning on making a jumper dress to go with it, and that one is based on a costume from the Queen's Gambit, and I found a free pattern on Mood for that, so stay tuned for a future video on that project. But I wanted to get started with the blouse. Now, I have used this pattern before. I've used it several times actually, so most of it went together pretty well, although I did make some mistakes while I was making it. I will blame surgery, recovery, and pain medication on that, or just human error. You be the judge. So I have gotten the main bodice of the blouse put together, did the side seams and the shoulder seams. I still need to go through and do I'm just going to zigzag the raw edges or whatever this fancy machine does. That's my mom's. And now I'm going to turn my attention to the sleeves. I need to find the instructions. I didn't print them out or bring them with me, but I think I have them on my computer or in my Google Drive. I'm gonna look and see. I have them somewhere. So because I didn't really need instructions to put the main part of the thing together, and so I really just need instructions for Thor. He won't settle down. Sit. Anyway, so I need instructions for the placket and the cuff. Now, if you remember previously, I told you that I had not cut the cuffs or the collar correctly, and I didn't have enough material to cut another one. I needed two, and I only cut one of each. And so sorry, the dogs are distracting me. And so my mom had some white poly like lining material, so I'm going to use that. I'm also, of course, going to use fusible interfacing to stiffen the collar and the cuffs. Now, this blouse is not going to look like the one in the movie at all because I didn't have enough material to cut it, the stripes diagonally the way they are in the film, and also all of the fanciness. I am going to make that costume at some point. I do have that as a plan, but since it's got velvet and stuff, that's more of a fall winter costume. Also, it's green and red, so it'd be good for Christmas time. I was actually planning on making it at Christmas, this past Christmas, but that didn't happen. So this is just going to be an inspired by the Harvey Girls. So I'm going to tackle the sleeve and get them set in, and let's do it. Okay, So I still need to turn the vent on the sleeve, and then now I'm going to take the placket and notch at the corner right here, and then turn in all of the edges and iron them down for both sides. So to demonstrate, this is the inside. And then the placket goes on. Wait. Did I do both of my plackets the same direction? Yes, I did both of my plackets the same direction. It's supposed to be like this, and this edge covers this raw edge, and then yeah, I'm gonna have to re-iron one of them so it's correct. But anyway, the placket's much longer than the slit that was marked on the pattern. So yeah, so let me I'll have to steam this open again and then do it the opposite way. Okay, the next step for the sleeves is to run gathering stitches up at the top, or so loud. I'm gonna run gathering stitches at the top of the sleeve and then stitch up the sleeve seams. So something weird just happened. I was sewing the gathering stitches, and then the needle broke. Why? I have no idea. I mean, this is very thin material. I've never broken a needle on thin material. So I took the needle out. So obviously broken. And kind of looking inside to see if I see the needle, and I don't. So I'm going to need to take the bobbin out, which means I'm going to need to pause sewing until my mom gets back, because I don't want to mess up her fancy machine. If it was my own machine, I'd just like start, rooting around in there. But yeah, this is an expensive machine. So I'm going to take the bobbin out, see if I see that little tip of the needle, and go from there. All right, so while I'm waiting for my mom to get back, I'm going to listen to Thor clickety-clack on the floor. Oh, I need to cut his nails, but I can't get down on the floor with him to cut his nails, so I have to wait till we go home and Chris can do it. Anyway, so while I'm waiting for my mom to get back, I am going to go ahead and pin the collar and pin the cuffs. So at least they're ready to sew when I am ready to sew. All right, off we go. All right, I got my collar and cuffs pinned. The lining that is interlined, or interfaced, I guess. It's fusible interfacing. And I pinned them on wrong the first time, but now they're pinned on right. And since I can't sew at the moment, so waiting for my mom, I'm going to cut some more fusible interfacing for the front of the blouse, for the button placket. My mom got home, fixed the machine, and it seems to be working okay. So my next step, I got my gathering stitches sewn. So now I'm going to sew the sleeves, sew the sleeve seams, and I have them marked right and left, so nothing terrible will happen. And hopefully no Sleevils will occur. And then after that, I will put the cuffs on. And then, so in the instructions, the collar actually goes on before the sleeves, but I wasn't reading the instructions, so I didn't do that. So I will why is is not... Why is this not even? Okay. So in the pattern, these line up, right? I mean, there's a little discrepancy, but not this much. Huh. I'm just going to pin and see where it ends up. I mean, this fabric is a blend of some kind, so it does have some stretch. So it may have, yeah, see, I've got a whole lot extra. Why is this not even?
I don't know.
I don't care. I'm just going to trim it. There we go. Okay, my next step will be to pin and sew the cuffs to the sleeves and the collar to the neck of the shirt. I also need to do some top stitching on the button placket, and so I will get going with all of that. Got the cuff sewn on, I pinned it to the inside, and then that is going to be hand whipped down. Well, despite my best efforts, I have Sleevils. I cuffs on the wrong way, which could have been fine. I could have just had white cuffs, except I also put them on the wrong side. I'm not entirely sure what I did, honestly. So this one is correct as far as the cuff goes. The placket's on the outside, but the seam that's supposed to be on the inside is on the outside. So then on the other sleeve, it's also wrong, but in a different way. This one, the sleeve is on the seam is on the inside, as it's supposed to be, but the right side of the cuff is on the inside. Or I guess the right side of the placket is on the inside. So I'm going to take the cuffs off and then do French seams on the sleeve seam and then put the cuffs back on. I think that's going to work. My brain's not working very well right now, so yeah, it was going so well. All right, I'm going to get seam ripping and doors clickety clacketing, and Mama is doing some test buttonholes for me on her machine. So all right, the collar is stitched on and I'm going to whip it down to the inside. And then after that, I'm going to insert the sleeves, pin them on, sew them on, and then the hem, and it's finished. Oh, I have to sew on buttons too. So still a good bit of hand sewing left to do, but the end is in sight. Alright, the blouse is all done. All I have left to do is some ironing to get some little, spots from the friction pin out. And then, yeah, it's all done. Biggest things I would change about this particular blouse, and when I remake it as more screen accurate, I think I will use the same pattern because I really like it, but I will change the sleeves a little bit. Now, these sleeves, I think, have plenty of fabric for poof, but this fabric was floppy, so it doesn't have the big poof. But that's good actually for wearing in more everyday situations, so I'm okay with that. However, I didn't notice this actually until I went to put it on to take photos of it, but I think I reversed the sleeves. I think the cuffs, the buttons are supposed to be on the outside, and mine are on the inside, and the sleeves aren't sitting quite right. When I tried it on, when I was putting the sleeves in, like when I pinned them in, they looked fine. I'm not sure what I did in the process of sewing or pinning that I messed it up, but there you go. We all make mistakes. But short of taking the sleeves off and redoing them, which I might do, that's the only thing I would really fix on this. I think it turned out pretty well. I think that it's going to be a useful blouse for everyday wear as well as in history bounding situations or just in historical costuming. So I think it's a good blouse. I'm excited to make the jumper dress that I'm going to make to go with it. So all in all, thumbs up from me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload, you can hit that little bell icon. To support the channel further, I have a Ko-fi account, and that is linked down below. I will see you again on our next sewing adventure. Bye!